I'm going to start with you, Nabil, and ask you really to frame our discussion and tell us how we can build high-impact organizations and projects for artificial intelligence.
Okay, this is really very difficult when you talk about building organizations. When we talk about AI, I think we should not talk about, setting up organizations. We should talk about setting up a complete ecosystem. Something we learned, analytics has been with us for decades. But with the cheap and the cost reduction and the compute, the storage, and also the knowledge base for like the principles of engineering, principles of finance, I think there is a high potential of really changing the way we operate in the future. So it's not about building an organization, it's really building a complete ecosystem. And the complete ecosystem, it means people that bring the compute, like the IT organization, building infrastructure, people that have the principles of data science, that they really understand how really deal with data, and combined with data engineers, with machine learning engineers. But all of these, whether the infrastructure with all data scientists, they will not be able truly to make an impactful organization or impactful ecosystem unless the true domain leaders that understand the issues, understand the problems, are really part of this ecosystem. I think we've been seeing in the past, I think, decades where IT organizations take the lead in transformation. There is a big shift, and I think when my friends in IT organization, probably they will not like what I'm saying. But it's really with the AI, there is a big shift that the domain leaders, like people that understand financial systems, people understand the insurance, people understand the healthcare, people that understand the engineering part, the issues in facilities and petrochemicals or petroleum engineers, they are gonna lead the AI moving forward. And everybody else will be enablers. So to have really an impactful organization, I think we have to change the culture. Who is gonna lead the transformation? It's not digital transformation. Maybe digital transformation is the glue that brings, let's assume we want to discover a new medicine. So the glue between the principles of biology and the chemistry and the data scientists is really a digital transformation organization that puts really everybody together in order to really solve a problem or come up, and identify an opportunity for, coming up with a new company or accessing a new market. This is what I think about how to create an impactful organization.
It's absolutely the issue of thinking about it more of an ecosystem than looking at it from a micro perspective. Amjad, let me turn to you, and I know you are a partner with Aramco on the Global AI Corridor. Tell us more about it and what it tries to achieve, please.
So first of all, we are excited to be a partner in building this AI corridor. The AI corridor is exactly as Nabil mentioned. It's about building an ecosystem and a collaboration between the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and California to build a global environment, not just for the kingdom, but for a global environment. And the reason we started with California, if you think about it, if California was an independent state, it would be the 5th largest economy in the world. In the US, from academic background, the top 4 producers of IP are MIT, Caltech, Stanford, and the University of California system. So 3 out of the 4 largest producers of intellectual property in the United States are located in California. We all know about Silicon Valley. 50% of the money for venture capital exists in Silicon Valley. So California makes sense in terms of leveraging that experience, leveraging that ecosystem to basically to bring it to the corridor. When we designed the corridor, we designed several elements. Okay, it starts with research and development, basically leveraging Caltech, University of California system, the entrepreneurial ecosystem that exists in California to basically help the entrepreneurial ecosystem here in Saudi Arabia. In California, we basically have a technology development and commercialization coming out of University of California and Caltech that basically spans decades, over 50 years. We've learned a lot during those 5 decades. We want to not only just learn from success stories, but we also want to learn from failures. That's why bringing that experience to the corridor, basically fostering that collaboration, it's going to be very helpful. So R&D is going to be an important foundation in the corridor. We're going to build an AI academy where we actually going to train domain experts. In California, we're moving toward what we call no-code, low-code AI. So rather than just basically having everybody become a data scientist, let's look at engineers, doctors, geologists, and teach them how to use the AI platform in a low-code, no-code environment, so basically they can solve their problems. So the AI Academy is gonna focus on that, taking these domain experts and making them very familiar with using AI tools and AI platforms. Next step, we're gonna do AI residency program. So when you launch a startup, again, as I mentioned, you wanna look at what mistakes to avoid, how you can basically create that next unicorn, how we can learn from experiences of the past entrepreneurs. And that's what the corridor is gonna bring to the kingdom, leverage serial entrepreneurs, some who succeeded, some who failed. Again, learn from success and from failures as well. And also the corridor is gonna focus on a venture studio that will look at launching some opportunities in California and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So it's really about building a global ecosystem to leverage the experience that California enjoyed in the last 5 decades and basically fast speed through that experience to help build an ecosystem here in the kingdom.
So it's a global ecosystem, also multidisciplinary, not just limited to all the bright minds around that work with AI. Maury, I'll turn to you and I want to ask you, because our session is on sustainability, and I would like you to share with us some examples about the impact of AI on sustainability.
Sure. Thank you very much for having us here. It's important to appreciate the role of AI in sustainability, because today, if you look at wind farms, solar farms, or areas of the sequestering CO2 or the storage of CO2, as my colleague, Professor Anand Kumar, yesterday mentioned, AI plays a central role in making sure that we make decisions that are right for our environment and for our society. So, for example, at Caltech, the Resnick Institute for Sustainability heavily uses AI in all of the projects. They have to make sure that they make the right approach and the best approach to solve problems of sustainability.
Thank you. And Nabil, I want to go back to you about the question I asked Amjad, Aramco's global AI corridor, and he gave us a very nice overview, but I would like to know what inspired Aramco to establish this corridor.
What really inspired us is, Aramco is a global company. And I think one of the biggest issue that almost all the companies are facing is really access to talents, access to IP, access to research labs. So the concept is, how can we really create some sort of a highway between Saudi Arabia and the rest of the world? We are starting with the US, but this is not going to be the only corridor we want to create. We also want to tap into our relationship with other countries. But California, as Amjad mentioned, this is really center of talents and IP and venturing. And something that probably I would like, Professor Mouri talk about, and something I learned during my visit to some other countries. A lot of AI and algorithms that are solving complex problems start in the space. So the space, like what NASA is doing through JPL and Caltech, they are always ahead, like at least by 3 to probably 5 years in terms of the solving very complex problems, especially when we talk about autonomous operation. How can you, simulate or copy how the brain is learning and you transfer it into the space? So probably I would like, if you don't mind, Mouri to talk about this journey, because this is something very important for what really excites us about bringing, because we do have complex issues globally, sustainability, carbon management, carbon sequestration. It's a global issue. So this is really what is inspiring us, the challenges that the global is facing, and we think this corridor is gonna create this collaboration platform to solve complex issues. So if you don't mind, just talk about how space is really linked to what you're trying.
Sure. As you know, Jet Propulsion Lab at Caltech and part of NASA is a pioneer in unmanned exploration of space. So you can imagine that, if satellites is around the Earth, it's easy to send commands back and forth and direct it what to do. And if it has a problem, try to solve it. But imagine that now one of these spacecrafts are near Mars, and signal takes 10 minutes to go back and forth. So it basically faces a problem. There's nobody else to help except the machine itself that needs to use autonomous part of its complex system plus autonomy in order to make decisions. So NASA, JPL, over that 50 years, they have made an amazing transition from automatic system to autonomous systems. And AI facilitated that transition. So these technologies are here, and I think it's very important as part of the AI corridor, we try to translate some of those technologies to solve actually earthly problems, from sustainability, from the climate, and from management of the water sources and other issues that today we are facing.
Thank you very much. I would have loved to continue the conversation. I can see the timer here flashing that we ran out of time, but thank you very much, gentlemen, for your insights, valuable insights. Please help me in thanking our speakers on AI and sustainability. Thank you.
Thank you.